Making your own orange and lemon marmalade is easier than you think.
Let's see what's cooking. Let's get the facts. Let's see what's cooking. It's time for yoyomax12.
Hello everyone. First thing we're going to do is prepare the fruit. You will need 3 cups of orange zest and 3.5 cups of orange pulp. So what I did is I bought some fairly large navel oranges, and I ended up using 3 large oranges for this. And then I peeled them, sliced the peel up fairly thin with a sharp knife. And then I took the pulp or the inside of the orange and just chopped it up into chunks, fairly small pieces, as you can see. And then for the lemons, for whatever reason, the recipe says just to thinly slice them, don't peel them, leave the peel on. So that's what I did. I thinly sliced up some lemons to make sure that I had about 3.5 cups worth when I was done. And again, this was about 3 or 4 lemons, I think. One of the hardest parts with this was just getting rid of all those pits in those lemons, because these ones had a lot of them. Then place the orange peel, orange pulp, and sliced lemons into a large pot. Add 1.5 quarts of water, and then you're going to bring this to a simmer and simmer for 5 minutes. After the 5 minutes is up, take it off the heat, put a cover on it, and let it sit for 12 to 18 hours before we go on to the next step. I just sat mine on an unused burner on the stove and let it sit overnight. The next day, you're going to take your fruit, put it back on the heat, and you're going to bring this back up to a boil, and you're going to cook it rapidly until the peel is tender, about 40 minutes or so. Once that's done, you're going to scoop it out. Now, the reason I'm scooping it out is that I want to measure how much fruit we have. So I measured it and counted all the cups of fruit that I had. And the reason you need to know that is this is going to determine how much sugar you add. So you need to add 1 cup of sugar for each cup of fruit mixture. Now, I know that seems like a lot, but this is marmalade and it is super sweet. That's just the nature of the beast, and that's what preserves the fruit in the jars. You're going to slowly bring this to the boiling point, stirring until all the sugar is dissolved, and then you're going to cook it rapidly till we get to the jellying point. Now, jellying point, what that means, if you were to take a scoop of this mixture and let it cool, it would be jellied. It would look like jam, like marmalade. Okay, now a quick way of doing this is to cook it for about 15 minutes or so, then take some out and put it on a plate that's been set in the freezer for about an hour or so, and that'll cool it down super quick, and you'll see if your mixture jellies or not. Now, another way you can do this is to use a candy thermometer, and you want it to reach 220 degrees. So what I did is I let it cook till 220. I did the jellying test on the frozen plate, and if by chance it doesn't jelly properly at that point, heat it some more until you get to 224 degrees Fahrenheit. But mine was quite nice at 220. It jellied up right away on the frozen plate, and then you're ready to jar this stuff up. These are pint jars. What I did was sterilize them in boiling water, filled them to about 3/4 full. Made sure the edge was nice and clean, added the seals. Now those jar seals have also been sterilized in boiling water. I added the rings. And then just to make sure that this stuff is super safe to eat after the fact, we're going to process it in boiling water for 10 minutes. Now I have a special rack and I have a special canning pot that I use that I've had for many, many years because I do make jams and jellies occasionally. And so you make sure your lids are tight, and you're going to lift this whole thing and you're going to put it into some boiling water. Now you need to let it sit in rapidly boiling water for 10 minutes. Now you can start timing it as soon as your water is at a rolling boil, when you see active bubbles coming up and breaking the surface. Start timing 10 minutes. At that point, I put the lid on just to keep some of that heat in. After 10 minutes, your jars are pretty much done. Remove them from the boiling water, and then you're just going to let your jars sit and cool. And as they cool, those jar seals will actually snap and pop and they'll go down. And when you touch them, they won't flex. You'll press on them and there'll be no flexing. And that's how you know that your canning has been a success and that it is nicely sealed. And there's the marmalade. It gels right away. As soon as it's cool, it is ready to eat. It's not like a lot of jams that take a couple of days to gel up. Because there's so much pectin in fruit peel to begin with, you don't have to add any. This marmalade is delicious. I have a couple of marmalade lovers in my household and they really enjoyed this. Mine made 6 pints worth, which will last a long time. Thanks for watching. I make new recipe videos every single week. If you want to be notified when I do make some new videos, be sure to subscribe by clicking on my face and by hitting that bell notification button. Also, YouTube has this new feature called the Community tab, and if you click on the bell icon, you will get notified when I post there. I post pictures of upcoming recipes, and I also give notifications about any live stream events that I'll be having. Bye-bye.